Yeah. Turn road, bass junkie, cut through it. Yeah. 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 Group chat jumping, same old drama. Screenshots, think pieces, recycle karma. Timeline loud, but the truth sound quieter. Mute half the world, now my head feel lighter. Crypto bag small, but the brain compounding. DCA faith when the chart flatlining. They sold dreams, Lambo in a month, quick flip. I want land, less rent, more ownership. AI talk at the table, late takeaways. Who code the rules, who choose the maze? They want our face, our voice, our data. We want our time back sooner, not later. Through the noise, let it fade in the background. Talk your talk real low, still surround sound. Same cold world, but the kettle stays on. My boy, soft light, deep chat, we just cut through the noise. Through the noise, let them scream in the scroll bar. We stay here long form, talking from the gold heart. Same my world, but we're calm in the void. Cup in hand, good friends, yeah, we cut through the noise.
Yo, and welcome to this edition, episode 3 of Cut Through the Noise, our weekly Thursday night show hosted by yours truly and Mr. Toro, Mr. CEO himself, my main man, Toro, the show where we talk about crypto, AI, and all things topical. So without any further ado, passing over to my main co-host. How are you today, Toro?
Thank you, brother. I'm good, man. I'm blessed. It's been a beautiful week. It's been a lot of stuff going on in the markets, a lot of things to get into, but I can't complain, man. I'm still standing. You're still standing in this bloodbath and in this sideways chop, and we're gonna keep moving forward and keep progressing and stay in base, keep building. You know.
That's it. I mean, honestly, it's hard to get a read on the market for many of the layman's, myself included. Like some days I'm feeling it. I'm like, I feel like I've got the magic 8-ball. Like the tokens I'm in are outperforming the market. I'm like, yes, I've got a good read on the market. I know I can spot the diamonds in the rough, but then the next day, 30% retrace, and I'm talking about trenches levels tokens. Those big retraces. If you're accumulating, I love a retrace. I think it can be a retrace can be good for long-term growth. But if you've decided this is the maximum allocation I want to give to this token, and then you get one of those 30-40% retraces,
yeah,
I can't help but feel a little bit like
that's how crypto is, man. It's an emotional roller coaster, it's a psychological warfare. You have to be disciplined. You got to sell when the good is getting good, and like be able to let go when it starts going bad. And it's like it's very hard to kind of know when to get off the bus. It's really hard to try to know when to really what. But what I've learned over time is just emotionally and mature wise, you just have to reflect and saying, is this enough for me? Can I take this and turn this into something else? And they got to understand, like there was another situation, one of our peers that was actually in a situation, became a whale, outperformed the market and for several weeks, and now it turned into a trap. He can't cash out now, tanked so hard, and he has too big of a large position that he can't get the actual liquidity he needs. So it's an unfortunate scenario. It's an unfortunate situation a lot of people are dealing with.
Without doxing the person.
Yeah.
Like, can you talk about that specific token? Like, is it something that we would be familiar with?
Yeah. So this whole and this guy's my brother. I respect him, but I'm just watching and I'm rooting for him. It's a situation with, are you familiar with TokenWorks, right? And the whole strategies that they're doing. Well, the dev strategy token that was made by CyberKong devs, it was doing numbers. It was doing numbers for several weeks. And the way that they have their flywheel going is that they'll select the NFT for that week, and they'll dive in if it has enough arbitrage and a lot of liquidity, and they'll raffle off those NFTs that they're sweeping the floors off at a 20% discount. So people instantly that win the raffles can instantly just offload in a profit of 20%. So it's but you need to have, the more tokens you hold, the more likely to increase your chances of winning the raffles. And the raffles go out throughout the day, throughout the week, continuously on cycles. So
quick question, because this is actually a really interesting concept. Is this like what's the ticker? I'll see if I can pull this up.
the strategy I think is DT. Let me see. I can tell you right.
I thought dev strategy and see that.
Yeah. Let me go to his here you go. I found his profile, so then it should be right there on this page because he couldn't stop talking about it. There we go. Cyberkongs, and their dev strat is the ticker is Death STR. You know, the little strategy that people had put on in, so it's just Dev STR.
SCR.
Yeah, Dev S T as in Timothy, R as in Rover. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, DEATHSTR. That's the actual full ticker. Yeah.
DE.
Like Death, DEATHSTR.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Death Star. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was understanding like Dev Star.
Yeah.
Oof. This is okay. Let me share screen real quick, so people are familiar with this, because that's
Now, do you see how when the good was good, it was sweet? It was sweet.
This on the daily, so you know, like, okay, hang on, like I'm sure this looked good for a while longer.
Oh yeah, and especially if you were like him, he had the eye, he had the knowledge and the insight to get in early, and he wailed. He hit it hard. He hit it super hard. Super proud of what he did, being able to capture that. And he was making a killing on the raffles, but unfortunately, through the dynamics of this, it's not necessarily, I would say, a sustainable flywheel, because it has cons. And then the validity of the market and the conditions. Now, Bitcoin fell off a cliff. It looked like it ate a bad taco or something and just took a dump. So, I mean, it's happening across the board. Whether you're investing in AI coins, memes, strategies, it's happening across the board right now, unfortunately. And now people are starting to slowly dial back in, center themselves around stable coins and DeFi. People are coming to a point where they're like, I'd rather make a little bit of yield than lose the bag or not make anything at all. And that's why DeFi is starting to slowly come back into the centerfold of focus, regardless of what happened on Aave. It's very unfortunate.
I was literally about to say, I mean, like, I'm not sure if we missed our show last week, but it's been, in the last 2 weeks, a lot of things have happened in DeFi. And, you know, although you're saying like now people are saying like, I'd rather make something rather than lose everything, rather than risk it for the biscuit. But a lot of people lost out, if I'm not mistaken, on this Aave restaking situation.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because, you know, the household name of Aave has been bulletproof for so long. They're literally a pillar of the decentralized finance sector. And to see that happen is unfortunate, but they weren't the only ones that got taken for a ride recently. You know, we saw that Ethereum hack, where that platform that was using synthetic Ethereum, like staking, lost over 236 million.
Well, I mean, sorry, I thought that was the other one. It was like 292.
Yeah, and it caused the Aave. It caused the Aave effect. So, like, that's all I was saying. They're not the only ones in that basket. It was a pairing off. And if you look at Aave, they've actually kind of rebounced back to a degree from that chop. Obviously they're not where they are, but the price point of the token is actually kind of stabilizing, tapering off. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been like what we saw with the FTX collapse of Terra Luna situation, just a domino effect. But I see that, Aave is going to learn from this and move forward. To the users, not your keys, not your crypto. I've survived Cryptsy, I've survived Voyager, FTX. It's not your keys, not your crypto. A hard head makes a soft ass. And true decentralized finance means that I have full control of my finance and I can exit these positions and revert at any given time. On that situation, it wasn't, and that was a vulnerability that led to a domino effect that overlapped on Aave, unfortunately.
Question though, because I agree, not your keys, not your crypto. At the end of the day, everything is hackable, but to differing levels of difficulty. But if you want to play the game, if you want to be in DeFi, you need to deposit that collateral into the smart contract, given the trust that the platform isn't going to get hacked.
You don't have to do that anymore, man. Like, without even like doing a selfish plug on like Swiper, but like you look at the Thor chain, that's true sovereignty, right? That's true sovereignty, like where you're still in control of your finance, where you don't have to just do this transparent handshake and wish for the best. Like, you just, and even Coinbase has introduced stuff of just locking it up on your wallet, on your phone, or not, and not even needing to lock it up, and still at the end of the year have a yield based on the USDC that was held and expended through your wallet. Like, there is as DeFi becomes more and more centerfold for institutes, you're going to see institutionalized, decentralized finance. What that means that we haven't seen the best compelling products when it comes to decentralized finance to be built yet. More and more financial products will be introduced to the market. Information symmetry has a lot to deal with this. And by being so, by having these old fossils that have sitting on loads of money and showing them that they can actually yield and generate more on their holdings without losing control of their positions, that's the attractive way. That is an attractive market that we're going to see more and more talked about, honestly. Like, there's so many dope teams right now that are doing that exact thing to avoid, and I saw other teams take it, like, they saw Aave on one knee and they could not wait to get to the timeline to throw something out on why their product is superior and this and that. But it just shows that we learn from these mistakes. And thank God for this technology that we can optimize it, right? We can learn from each other's mistakes and bulletproof this to actually not repeat the same situations, But we're going to see espionage of way more hacks coming, because people are now using AI to spot pre-existing gaps and bugs that have been in platforms for several years that the naked eye and the human mind totally missed over and stepped over. And with this whole ability of combining smaller attacks in a chain, it can open up so many security breaches, so.
Yeah, I mean, over the past 6 months, we've seen, several high-profile cyber attacks that almost it becomes expected at this point. And exactly as you say, with AI, it's the frequency and the amount of shady audits that can be done. I mean, audits to look with the intention of finding vulnerabilities, right, with the follow-up intention of exploiting vulnerabilities. We're only going to see that expand exponentially over the coming years. And to go off Aave's issue, great. The silver lining that I see in this is that this happened before the Clarity Act went through, because once that happens and people are exposed to crypto in volumes and numbers that we haven't seen before, this could be their first gateway into crypto, and to experience a hack early on would just be such it would leave such a sour taste in the mouth. Now, for us, vets, different degrees, 9 years for me, and 15 years for you. I mean, like, it's a while for you. 2015, is it? Or
Oh man, 2012.
20? So literally, yeah, not far off. 14 years. And we've seen so many shenanigans in the space that we kind of like accept that risk and try and do our best to prepare against it.
Yeah.
But for newbies coming into crypto, to experience that firsthand and say, and it's gone, you've lost the customer for life. You've lost somebody who just be turned off to the tech. So the silver lining is this happened when it happened, and the fact that Avi's been able to bounce back and regain some trust in the community, I feel Avi is too big to fail. If Avi fails, I don't know if that's a recoverable black eye in DeFi.
There's always, the thing about this is that, like you said, we've been in this game for a while. There's always going to be a new contender coming left field. There's always going to be a superior product always being tinkered. There's always going to be some team that feels like their back is against a wall and they just want to win. So they have a certain hunger, So, and especially when the infrastructure is already built out, we have plenty of working examples. All you have to do is just analyze their weaknesses. All you have to do is take a deep dive to see how you can overcome these giants. You may not be able to go toe to toe with these dynamic teams that are totally rooted in our ecosystem, but you'll be able to outmaneuver them. You'll be able to, logically speaking, implement things that position your evaluated state. And that's what I believe is always going to happen. Binance was now number one for forever. There were so many other number ones all the way back to Mt. Gox days that just, they come and they go. But one thing for sure is that crypto is here to stay. Blockchain advancements are here to stay and only will evolve. Maybe I caught the ride early, but we're seeing a huge rave and a huge focus on pre-fi, prediction finance, right? We're seeing that platforms like Hyperliquid are now entering the contender ring on how you can wager live events. We're seeing all major crypto exchanges now have thrown their hat in the ring of predictions markets. This is another way for people to create dominant factor in financial products. We already have yielding systems that are already implemented in pre-fi already, right? Off of people live wagering off of events and current events in live time. We've already built yielding infrastructures out there. And I'm not talking primarily me, I'm talking about other opposing teams, right? So this just shows that the underlying tech will be harnessed and used in so many sectors beyond what we can imagine right now. So that by doing so, there will be open new giants, open new products, and open new safety nets for the masses, man. So, what I would be concerned from the Aave team is like you said, the Clarity Act is not cleared yet. But when the dust settles and everything is regulated and signed off and good to go, will I be the chosen household to walk alongside these institutes, or will they just side rail me and just build out their own thing, right? And that's one thing that they have to be concerned about. That's one thing. But DeFi itself is too far gone. It's too big at this moment for it to slow down from hacks. Hacks have been happening around the clock. You see, GitHub is in bad shape right now, right? GitHub is in horrible shape right now.
I literally must have missed that. Like, what happened to GitHub?
Everybody's reports is like it's close to 2 million repositories have been compromised. So that means the dark web has people's private keys, APIs, crucial information that people have been putting in their repositories. All that's being resold on the black market now, right? We've seen high profile influential people in the development world now announced that they're no longer using GitHub, and they've been using GitHub for years, right?
Yeah, I mean, GitHub's a staple of the developer space. So
Mhm.
my question is, because I just assumed GitHub's the only option. Where, if not GitHub, where are people putting their repositories?
Well, for me, I would say every time that my team is posting on GitHub, we're also relaying to GitLab as one of our backups, right? And there are several other situations at hand, but we're using GitHub, GitLab, for example, GitLab. So basically, it's like this, almost the same work through. The interface is a little bit different, but the more that things change, the more they stay the same. So um, there's other options. There's other options. You know, Vercel's in a situation right now from their hack, right? So we're seeing that it's not only just crypto entities getting the shitty end of the stick. It's across the board, and it's going to continue for a long time because a lot of these gaps and security breaches were just sitting there dormanted for so long, you know, and these companies are so big to address certain situations. It may take a while, you know, to reach that part of the body, you know. So it's unfortunate, but this is the world that we're walking into now. But the fortunate thing is, as much as we have bad actors that are abusing AI, because AI is like a gun, right? You put a gun in the wrong hands, they will cause mass harm, mass destruction, take lives. You put a gun in the right hands, it protects life, it honors, right? It serves. So it's about how people are using this. So just as much as people are abusing AI for their own dirty deeds, there are white hats that are out there around the hour that are combating this now, right? And they're clocking in hard because they don't want this to happen to them or their peers. So you know there's always a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to these type of things. Yeah, but if you ask me, just like Bitcoin, just like this bear market, is going to get worse before it gets better, but it will get better, and that's the most important thing.
I I I believe that. I believe that with time, this too shall pass, and I think that, with every hack that happens, there's a lesson to be learned. Um, One of the concerns, I guess, for the long term is quantum computing. But one of the initial sort of highlights was like, well, what about cryptography? Cryptography is going to be obsolete when quantum computing happens. They'll be able to hack all these wallets. But then the realization that actually these cryptographs are still way more complex than the banking infrastructure. If quantum computing does what people anticipate it to do in terms of being able to hack everything, all infrastructures, then everything's off the table. Like, it's not just Bitcoin that can be hacked. It's not just Ethereum. It's central banks. It's traffic lights. I mean, like, do you remember? I think it was a Die Hard movie. One of the Die Hard movies. It literally the hackers were in the traffic lights. They were in the banks. You got $0 in your
You could do that now with the flipper device. You know, it's you know. And shout out to Bruce Willis, man. You know, God rest his soul. Like, and the situation
whoa. Did he die?
He's dying. He's on his deathbed.
Oh, yeah.
They're donating his brain to research.
Bless him. God bless Bruce Willis.
So many classic movies, dynamic, iconic guy, dude. You know,
dude. So, yeah. I saw someone. I saw on one of these. Someone was posting something, and I was just like, it's like a video of Bruce Willis, and I was like, fuck off, shame on you, like, leave him alone.
He's giving in that state.
It looked terrible. He was shaky and like decrepit, and it's like, look, he's given so much of himself to the public. He's become an icon. He's inspired many people for like the movies and all that stuff. Like, let him keep his dignity. Why paparazzi snap a pic of him in a hospital gown? Like, literally fuck off.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's really close to it. So they're already preparing for his exit, and there are, and the beautiful thing is that his family took this stance on donating his brain to show that even after life, after, and going to death, embracing death, you can still help so many other people that are going through the same thing, and it's unfortunate for that. It's unfortunate for that, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Bruce Willis. One shout out for one of the good ones.
Yes,
but
sir.
Yeah, so in terms of like quantum computing, hacking, all this stuff.
Yeah, I was saying that we have quantum encryption right now that's open source. We use quantum encryption on our vault. And people have been preparing. Like, you got Bitcoin core devs that are preparing around the clock with quantum resistant algorithms, right? And you're going to hear a lot about quantum resistance. The truth of the matter is that we are still a bit off from quantum because our foundation is instructed right. You have to have the right fiber optic cables, right? The right wiring on your foundation. I'm talking about physically, to even have a quantum computing working correct, not let alone the computing power, right? So, the first people that are going to be able to use this is probably DC, like the government, right? Because they have already the infrastructure ready to build out. That's already built out for that. But I want to say the average man or bad actors, we're still got a few years of safety till they hand over that one. Because like I said, AI is a gun, right? Quantum is a bazooka. It's like a nuclear bomb. So, we're still a way off, and there's people that have been powerhousing, staying ahead of the curve, because the next step is quantum after artificial intelligence. There's quantum mechanics, quantum computing, like quantum is you're already seeing the threshold of quant through predictions, quant trading, right? RAGs, right? When agents are acting in swarms, debating and neutralizing and retiring and mutating, right? This is quant trading. This is the preliminary outer rim of us getting into quantum. So, it's here, but it's not at the same time. We still got a long way to go. We're just now cracking over like the machine learning that they let the public access to is still very primitive versus what is already truly out there at this point. And you can see that by knowing that machine learning and high profile government entities have been using machine learning since, I think, like the 90s, man, like beyond the early 2000s, right? So what they give the masses is not always going to be the cutting edge. It just seems like the cutting edge to the masses because it's foreign technology.
Sorry, I need to jump to the toilet. I'll be back in 1 minute, but please continue, because honestly, this is, when I get back, I want to talk about the new Claude updates and how it's only available for businesses. That is it called like Machina, Claude Machina? But I'll be back in 1 minute.
No worries. Yeah. When it comes to that, what the fuck am I gonna do now without Base Junkie? I don't know. But the thing about that is just basically OpenClaw, OpenClaw is in for a little bit of trouble right now. And Peter and OpenAI, I don't know what they're gonna do. I see that the new ChatGPT, the 5.5, amazing. You can create a whole gaming verse. You remember, guys, Sandbox and what was the other ones that were really big in the last one, where you had these like virtual 3D game rooms? You could just do that yourself now. That used to take an entire studio to do. You can do it yourself now. It's amazing. image generation, better coding from ChatGPT, all that. But OpenClaw itself is in a sandwich bind right now because you have on one side Hermes, which I'm super impressed by that team. Basically gives you everything OpenClaw does and more. And then you have Claude. Claude now has a remote feature. So you can do exactly what you've been doing with OpenClaw, with Claude, with Anthropic, with that type of level of reasoning, right? So it's the race. I really love this stuff because all these teams are checking each other at bay. And as the user at the endpoint, it's just like, wow, they're leveling out the playing field for everybody, right? Because everybody's trying to have the most advanced LLM for the cheapest cost on tokens, right? Everybody's trying to optimize this thing to make it feel truly autonomous. Everybody's trying to fight to argue that theirs will reach a sentient level at some point down the road, if you believe in sentient beings, right? If that's even a thing.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
If I can jump in here, like, okay, so a few things, because I was listening even though I wasn't on screen. The lands were Sandbox, and the other big one was Decentraland.
Thank you, Meta. What was their ticker?
Mana.
Correct.
MANA.
Yeah.
But
Meta.
yeah, it's incredible what AI is achievable now with AI. I mean, in the 2021 cycle, we as an NFT company, Junkyard Dogs, we invested our last $250,000 in Sandbox, and like the experiences are great, but it didn't capture mindshare, and it was just it was our last Hail Mary to, like, you know, be something great. But you know, it's hard to.
Mana made me want to just play. I think it was Mana or Sandbox. Both of them just made me want to play Minecraft at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, so Sandbox was one that was like more Minecrafty.
Okay.
Like our first like developer, he was a 20-year-old kid who we paid $30,000 to build one plot of land, and it took him 6 weeks. I say took him 6 weeks. I don't know how many hours he was on it, but his background was Minecraft. A 20-year-old kid who left $100,000 a year job to do this independently, 30 grand for 6 weeks work, and then he like gave us this like game build. He built like out of Legos, digital Legos, and it looked kind of good. And this is like, but it was a different time. It was the Wild West. So you know, live and learn. You know, like it was an expensive lesson to learn, but
I gave a 20-year-old a chance. Gave him $40,000 for a year of work. Yeah.
Dude, but I mean, it's incredible what's possible now with AI. But you know, in terms of like, you know, which model will win, it's always like, you know, I feel like it's a bit of like this sort of action.
Yeah.
You know, like yesterday, I put out a poll. I said, "What's your best daily driver?" Because for a while, I had all of them. I still have Grok, so I got Grok, the ones I had, and I've cut down on some of them. But it was ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Claude, and then like for like other stuff like Suno for music, and then Higgsfield for video. And it's like my monthly subscriptions are just ridiculous because it's like, hang on, I feel like I have too many things. I'm not actually utilizing any of them to their absolute nth degree. So for you, because at the moment, yesterday I said, what's your best daily driver? Like ChatGPT or Claude? And it was 14 votes, 50-50. 7 on both sides of the aisle. So for you, Toro, as the tiebreaker, what's your best daily driver?
Man, you can't ask me that because I use them both. You know, like I've learned that, and this is something that a lot of people don't know, is that, damn, this is a little bit too much sauce, but fuck it. ChatGPT is a better debugger than Anthropic's Claude, if you could believe that or not. It's a way better debugger than Claude is, honestly. And with the recent, unfortunately, the latest recent updates on Claude, it hallucinates way more, and it's slightly dumber. It's slightly dumber. Yeah, so it's
Sorry, it's slightly dumber than its predecessor, or it's slightly dumber than
yeah,
the
no, it's
ChatGPT
slightly
version.
in this previous version. Yeah, correct. And you can see it. So yeah, so you know, I could bounce back from both of those. You know, bounce ping pong from either one. Some of the guys on the team use Codex, you know, to maneuver. But I can't really say which one's better. It's a back and forth. But I do believe that Open Claw itself might be in a bind, um, because everybody Hermes is spanking Open Claw right now, and now Claw said I'll spank the other cheek on the other side. So it's like I don't know what Open Claw is gonna do. Honestly, I don't know what they can do. But the new ChatGPT impressive. I really have to tip my hat. I really thought they hit a ceiling, and you know, things get played out. There's always a new shinier toy on the block, but no, bro, they're not dead. They're not dead at all, bro. Like they're actually alive and well, surprisingly.
So the thing I liked about, so maybe I'm not pushing the chat GPT to the limit, but like I found like with Claude, I could see results a lot faster in terms of like not just tell me theoretically what to do or how to build it. It's just like I want a website that does this. This is the brand name, like blah blah blah, and then it would just like build it, and it's like, hey, how does this look? It's like that's pretty good actually. Like,
See, the thing
and
with that is that website design, Claude is cool. Functionality, right? Full, truly functionality. Like if you're truly making a complex website, Claude is going to hallucinate. Claude is going to create regression. Claude is going to do silent behavior, right? It's a lot. So I would, for anybody that's vibe coding, I would say structure your .md, your soul.md very well. Come up with your own mythology, or take someone that you respect after you analyze it, and then do your own spin on it and implement it. And always make sure, because the feature is there, you can roll back. Take a snapshot. Take a snapshot of your current Soul MD. So those that don't know what a Soul.md is, basically the core like level of rules that Claude would abide by, or your agent will abide by. They call it the soul, right? Metaphorically speaking, is the essence of your specific agent, right? With the do's and the don'ts, right? And don't listen to anyone that tells you, oh, if you jam pack it with too much, it will actually underperform. No, if you jam pack it with useless stuff, it will underperform. The more information you give it, the better off you'll be. You see some guys have master one shots, like where basically one prompt, one shot, done. The reason being is because they have a guideline of rules that they've implemented either in the Soul MD and a style of prompting that they've done for them to one two shot that thing out the park, you know, versus the next person, it's going around in circles, a lot of regression, a lot of hallucination and assumptions, you know, like it's all about how you the structure now. It's all about structure at this point, you know. Yeah.
Does Codex have a soul file?
You can, yeah. Codex is just basically just a router for these LLMs itself, and it's pretty good. A lot of devs, even on base in the Coinbase company, uses Codex that I've spoken to. So I was like, you know, when I was like, you know, for example, with Oreo, one of my guys on my team, when I saw he was using it, I was like, oh yeah, it's automatic, like, you know, and he's all the way in Malaysia, right? You know, so, but I don't use Codex personally. You know, like when I've been building, I haven't used it, but they have, you know.
See, for me, so this past month, I haven't been using Claude. I'm trying to whittle down and to see if I can operate at the same efficiency with fewer subscriptions, because I think, you know, it's very easy to just just pay the $20. Like you don't really feel it. But it's just like it's just a hole in your pocket, and you do that 10 times over. It's like, okay, actually, you know what? Fucking hell, like I've just given away. I'm just giving away money, like what for what? It doesn't make sense. So
I would suggest running it locally to save you a killing, and if you have like an old laptop, a Raspberry Pi, a Beagle, something you can run it on. If you don't have any extra hardware, um, excuse me, you could set up a cloud, a VPU, run it locally, because when you use Claude directly, over 80% of your token expenditures is just reading, right? You're not, and if you're only just, using just the surface level, you're only harnessing about 8 to 9% of what Claude can really do. So I would say run it locally. There's, thank God to that dude, the number one user of Claude. He rewrote when Anthropic accidentally leaked the whole source code. He rewrote it in Python and then rewrote it again in Rust. So that DCMA, that didn't do anything, because by law, once he changed it over to a whole new language, it was a whole new entity respectively, even though it's the exact same thing. So it's out there. I can share a source code with you, but I would encourage anyone, if you're actually at the point that you're using Claude and you're going ham with Claude, you're going crazy with Claude, run it locally, bro. Save your pockets. You don't have to get a Mac Mini. I have a Mac Mini. You don't need to do all of that. You don't really need all that. That's overkill. But I would highly suggest you run it locally or on some type of cloud to, save a lot of money, honestly, because I remember in the beginning, I was blowing like anywhere from like $300 to $400 a day because I kept hitting my limits and I'm just going ham on my own ham. And I was like, yo, like I got to do something about this, so we have a local Claude as well now. So, yeah.
question. So which model would that be? And is there any way that can progress with the other models, or it's like a snapshot when Opus 4.5 existed, or 4.6 even?
Yeah, so we got Opus 4.6, but the real one that you want to get your hand on is Mythos.
Mythos,
Yeah, that's the one. If you can get your hand on that bad boy. But honestly, and that's the thing, you want to save all LLMs. You want any open source LLM, you want to save and archive a bunch of these. Why? Because there's going to be a point in the future, and we're seeing this with AI on chain, that everything will be gated by a payment wall. And as you see, in certain LLMs that are coming out are in God mode, beast mode, right? So they're going to get snatched offline real fast so that the masses don't get a hand on those things. So it's always best to snatch what you can, because even if you think about it, man, if you just use ChatGPT alone, that's sufficiently enough intelligence for the average day user, right? But when you're getting into the thick of it and the intricacy, and you're trying to build stuff that hasn't been built before, or optimize things in a way that hasn't been done before, you need a little bit more of a higher realm of intelligence, I would say, for actually outputting in tasks. But like I said earlier, ChatGPT 5.5, yeah, they're coming for the money. It even codes better. A year ago, if you were using like code examples or like trying to use some references, it would give you a slop of crap, right? Nonsense, right? Like laughable nonsense. Now it's like, oh, when did you go to school? When did you get a degree? OpenAI. Where did you get that from? Where did you get that? ChatGPT? Where did you learn this? So I'm very impressed with what they're doing over there. And it's showing me that it's not over yet, because we haven't even got to the east side yet. You got Alibaba's Qwen doing numbers. You got the Minimax, way cheaper and doing numbers, and it's open source now. So they're not even playing fair. They're just like, we just want you to have it. Now there's a whole talks of like spyware and data harvesting. My boy, half the apps in your phone are data harvesting anyway, and they're reselling it for bukus of money, and we agreed to the terms. So I don't have anything to hide. It's more about security of my financial state, right? Which you should not be using the same device that you're holding crypto or financial assets, estates on. You should be using a sole proprietary product, hardware for your work, a work laptop, or work computer. But you just want to make sure that you're covering all angles for you not being compromised at the most thing. But if they want to know Toro's favorite color and the restaurants I look at and the web browsers I search and all that nonsense, like that's fine. You're getting the same information that all 500 of the top 500 companies in the world already have. So I don't really mind that. I have nothing to hide personally, you know.
Yeah, I think that's super valid and interesting how these models are competing. I mean, obviously, right now there's the Sam Altman, Elon Musk lawsuit going on.
Yo, Elon, bro, that guy is hilarious on Twitter, man. Sometimes I don't know how to feel about this guy. Sometimes I'm like, ah, like, why are you suing Colorado for that nonsense? And then I wake up and then he's like trolling Sam. And I get it, because Sam, I get it. Sam is a piece of shit, right? He's a scumbag, he's a criminal. But you cannot ignore the man was a hitter. That guy was a threat. And if he played his card right, he probably would have been the top dog. If CZ didn't come down quick with the axe, I'm talking about right now. If Sam
sorry, pause. Sam Altman.
OpenAI.
You're talking about SBF. SBF was man. He was also a hitter. Like man, maybe the greatest investor foresight person of all time.
Yeah, he would have been the top dog from his investment portfolio, but at the same time, he was also breaking the rules to get in that position. He was a criminal. But so you're talking about Sam from OpenAI. Said that guy. Like it's like, from what I understand, Elon was supposed to be the CEO, and he just did some two-timing stuff behind his back and then became the CEO because he wasn't originally supposed to. The people that were voting on it, they already decided that Elon was going to lead OpenAI as a CEO, and Sam just kind of doubled back, had a personal relationship with one of the guys that was a deciding factor, and was able to convince the other guy. It was two guys that decided this, that he should be it. So one thing that we haven't talked about is, do not underestimate Grok. Grok is not what you think it is. A lot of people are confusing the StarNet thing, whatever Elon doing as his true space program. Grok is the true space program. Grok is the ending result that this guy is looking for. He's on a vendetta, and Elon is probably going to get his lick back. He's probably going to find a way to really outpace OpenAI eventually, because what Grok is really truly meant to be, and it's obvious, he's giving you the clues from the logos, right? He's telling you over and over, this thing is meant to understand the universe around us, the universe. So you're going to see a lot of Grok and a lot of these robots running around, right? You're going to see Grok grow.
Yeah. I mean, like Tesla. I think which large company was saying it was like ARC or something, but it was saying like in the future people won't remember Tesla as being a car company because of the robots and everything else that's coming with it. I mean, like you can see like the breadcrumbs are there, and for years it was like, why is Elon building all these random different sort of businesses in parallel? But there's like a bigger goal. Like, yeah, exactly. Like if humanity is actually to colonize Mars, for example, you need energy, you need AI. Really, it's going to be uninhabitable for a long time for organic organic life. But if you send robots there who can plan it out, build it, build the biospheres, or build all whatever's like, the infrastructure, the boreholes, not boreholes, sorry, the tunnels to go underground, so you can actually like traverse the the planet. It's all actually ties together. But in terms of like daily, like bringing it back a bit, in terms
Yeah.
of like daily driver, the question really was, Claude or OpenAI.
Yeah.
Obviously Elon has Grok, but Grok rarely enters the conversation for being like top dog. Do
Yeah.
you
Not
like
that.
are you saying that you see Grok as being a bit of a dark horse here?
Yeah. 100%. Grok, it seems dumb and dormanted on purpose right now, but the true Grok, the real Grok, when they put it against these other companies to trade, it out traded. Or like when they put it on like a trading competition, it logically outperformed. So he's not showing his full hand. And that's never been his nature to show his full hand. He's always been working in pieces, right? Till it comes together. So I definitely would not sleep on Grok. I don't use Grok personally because it's inefficient in my eyes currently, but I know long term it's going to be a dominant factor. There's no way around it. There's no way around it, dude.
I remember. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I pay for the Grok subscription
Yeah.
because it's a byproduct of having the premium plus.
Hmm.
But I use it every now, literally every now and then when I'm
Yeah.
feeling a bit whimsical and like, hey, let me see if I can make a video out of this. I'm like, okay, that was kind of good. Let me try 5 more times, and then it's like 10 minutes later, and it's like, was this effective use of time? Um, Sometimes it's a banger, sometimes it's not, and I'm like, well, now it's 3 in the afternoon, and I haven't even tweeted anything because I was trying to get that perfect GM video, and I was like, what a. But anyway, before we wrap this up, are there any tokens you're looking at? Are you in the trenches? Are you dabbling, or are you playing more cautious in these turbulent times?
Not really gem hunting right now. I would say the only thing I'm really paying attention to right now is Hyperliquid. Just seeing what Jeff and his team is doing, I just have to stay in the loop because they're positioning themselves to be very big. And if you look at it, that's the only guy that has survived CZ's wrath and actually been able to tell it. So like I definitely see them as something. But overall, these tokens, it's usually the same list. I'm still keeping my eye on Aerodrome to see if it's gonna bottom out. Maybe it won't be a token I'll ride into the next cycle because there's always a new shiny thing. I'm definitely eyeing Aster because I know that it's not a base token, but it's Binance 2.0. It's basically everything that he legally cannot do with Binance. He's kind of try to do with Aster. Um, I see that a lot of people are talking about the Mega ETH listing. I don't understand Mega ETH. I don't really get it. So I'm not playing that way. But when it comes to the base trenches, I would say that AI tokens is a narrative right now. I don't know how it's going to like maneuver in these climates, but I would say be very cautious because most of these AI tokens are not going to make it. They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. Especially the biggest indicator is a lot of these crustacean based inspired theme coins in and out, stick and move. Do not think that it's the long one. The only one you could probably pay attention to is the one from the guy from the Ethereum Foundation because he made one that's a crustacean theme, but
Yeah,
he's
that
also
was that was Claude, wasn't it?
right,
Claude with the
right,
W.
right. And it's like you got to understand he's also over this whole agenic movement on Ethereum. So of course that I feel that that one can make something. But nah, man, I'm really just chilling right now. This year is all about survival. In my eyes, I'm not actively buying tokens or looking into tokens to Q4. I don't really see the point right now personally, unless you're really on the day to day hitting the bag, sticking and moving, getting or you might be a levy boy. You might be playing perps. You might be playing perpetuals. But for me right now, I'm just in builder mode. I'm just trying to get like a workhorse mode right now and just keep thriving through. I don't even think I will return to crypto the same way, because I definitely think that prediction pre-fi is going to be the next gold rush. I think that predict pre-fi is that usherance in for the masses, for onboarding the masses. It didn't come through the traditional routes that we thought. It came through this route, and it hits all the bells and whistles that everybody needs: speculation, anticipation, huge big moves, deep liquidity, arbitrage, loans, staking out, yielding. So it's embodying a lot of the essence of crypto, of what the Web3 trenches have been for so many years, but then going beyond further. And it's been able to be conveyed and cross over to the masses, marketing wise, psychologically, financially, in a bigger way. So I don't know. I mean, there's always going to be some plays on the table, but for me right now, I think that when we really get into the next bull run, we're going to see that pre-fi and these prediction markets are going to be a bigger hold on the game than we expect it to be. It's not good. The game has changed, ladies and gentlemen, and you either adapt or you're going to get smoked out here. So I would definitely pay attention to that situation. We're still way off for RWAs that actually mean something right now, truly RWAs. So I will play that with caution. GameFi, game tokens, game themes. It's like beating a dead horse currently. It's not the sector that I thought it would be to onboard the masses. So a lot of game-based companies have to go back to the drawing board, revamp, and position themselves. Because we know that at the end route, digital avatars, digital representations of ourselves and our assets is the way. So in theory, that is kind of like a game. You know, it will feel gamer life like Ready Player One, but it's not going to come like how we think it is. So it's not coming in none of this stuff comes as is expected. So I definitely will just play it by ear and be safe, guys. April has been the biggest month of hacks in crypto history, right? We have so much stuff going on, and it's all the variables are constantly moving and evolving. So what is hot right now may not be hot tomorrow. So stick and move and keep your ear to the pulse to see the narrative, to see what the timeline is chatting about, and then play it accordingly.
Now, last question for me, and I wasn't planning this one, but just because you mentioned about RWAs, it got me thinking a little bit about Chainlink as like the oracle for all of that stuff. There was lots of mumblings and rumors that, you know, BlackRock would be interested in Chainlink because because of their interest with RWAs and the need for an oracle to connect it all together.
Yeah.
What's your current opinion on Chainlink?
Chainlink right now is in a good position, institutionalized. It's in with the big dogs. Shout out to all due respect to Sergey. I know some people hate him that know the true history and stuff, but Chainlink's in a good position. Unfortunately, I do see the flaws in oracles, hence why I built Ticker, a oracle free decentralized trading platform based on ZK, because oracle poisoning, all it takes is just getting a trusted node to give false information, and we'll have a catastrophic event like we did in last October 10th. So there are flaws with oracles, and they're going off of the proof of they're going off of assumptions of reputations instead of actual hardcore proof for the data analytics. And I see that as a big problem. But to these geezers in these suits in high positions, they're so disconnected from the trenches that they think that this is the future. But I think that Chainlink, and guys, any Link Marine come for me for this, just know I bought it at 40 cents. You probably didn't buy it cheaper than me, and I held it. I held it for years. So I think that Chainlink might go through a chop and block situation because there are limitations of what it is. But when you look at Link is arguably one of the strongest use cases in crypto right now. It's across the board. It's interoperable on so many chains. So many situations rely on it. but I also see that being his coffin at the end of the day. And that's just my personal opinion, you know.
Interesting take. Yeah, I mean, it will be. I just wonder, like, like where the capital is. Often it is the 50s plus. Like real institutional capital. Who's maneuvering it? It is the boomers, and this is very, like, traditional finance friendly. Is it gonna take the lead because it's in with the big dogs, or is there room for younger, scrappier, more nimble startups to
Always.
take the lion's share? But
100%.
yeah, dude. Anyway, like, what? Just as we're wrapping up, do you have any final calls to action or anything to leave us with?
Yeah, man, I would strongly encourage you guys to use Base Junkies referral link and get on Swiper now. Swiper will be the intelligence layer of pre-fi and all these prediction markets. We arguably are one of the few entities that are actually integrated with so many prediction markets, all the leading deep liquidity, actual liquidity prediction markets. We don't have them all because a lot of these don't have the liquidity that is needed for somebody that's coming out of crypto. But I definitely encourage you guys to click Base Junkies referral link and get on there. Also, I want you guys to check out Fireside every Friday, where Base Junkies always having a high profile panel of true builders in the space. And yeah, man, and of course, always tune in every Thursday for what we got going on. This is good, man. My setup is going to get better. I'm currently out of town right now, so I'm not in the office, but my setup is going to come up over the time. So you're going to see, and I might even start doing my own thing on the side, maybe pick a day like a Monday or a Saturday to do like an hour and just cover some game, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, bro, I fully recommend you to do that, because I think live streams are going to become increasingly more important, especially as we're moving towards like AI everything. Is this Medium article actually written by somebody? What soul do you get from people's tweets? Like, to actually get to know a person, know somebody who's what are their actual feelings? Like, how are they? Do I vibe with them? I think the most authentic way to connect with people is IRL, but
Yeah.
then it's spaces and live streams. So, putting yourself out there. Yeah, and also, I would just like to say to any builders watching the show, the first one is always the hardest.
Mhm.
You can't evolve out of your comfort zone if you never take that risk
Yeah.
and pop your cherry and actually do the hard thing. Because I tell you, I used to hate public speaking. I used to hate doing spaces, and I wouldn't have even considered doing live streams. But once you do it once, 10 times, 100 times, it's like it's as easy as putting on a hat.
Would you say it's been life changing for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's reframed a lot of things, and it's opened some opportunities for me, which I'm extremely grateful for. And I think the importance of building a personal brand cannot be understated, because you carry that forever. Like, the project may not find product market fit, but if you compose yourself with integrity and you show yourself, you win and fail in public, people can see that you've actually tried, you've taken that risk. And I think I respect anybody who's done a hard thing, tried it, even if you failed, because it takes guts to pick yourself up and move on from there.
100%, man. It's always a pleasure with you, doing this with you, man, to many more episodes. And thanks for everybody that's tuning in out there that's going to catch this and catch the replay. I hope that, our conversations are bringing you value. We always want feedback. We always love the comments. We always love what you guys are telling us. We take all criticism, and we always want to perfect this, because what we're trying to do is convey value. We want to have a conversation of substance, And that's what we're here to do every single time we get on this thing. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
100%. All right, guys. We'll see you next Thursday. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, but most importantly,
Stay based.
stay based. Peace out, everyone.
I'm a baseline junkie. I'm a baseline junkie. Tell him again. I'm a baseline junkie. Tell him again. And I like it funky.